student athletes Tucker Maxwell and Aaron Shunk. Coach, if you'd like to begin with an opening statement, and we'll open it up for questions.
First of all, I thought Tony Losi set the tone there in the first inning, gave up the leadoff single, and a lot of emotion when you're opening game of a regional, and certainly he knows a lot of those guys, and they know him. So a lot of emotion going on with Tony, and pitching against his high school teammate Tanner, and so I know Tony has an emotional side to him, and I thought he was really focused, struck out the side, gave us some momentum going into the dugout, and we scored those 8 runs. So. Tony gave us a great start, and then I thought our hitters were really good. On Tanner Hall, I do want to say this, that they're not here without him. He won and saved a game for them last week to get them here. So he was really good last weekend, and he came back on short rest to try to do that. And he's a really good pitcher and a good kid. And Tony won today, had bragging rights over him, but they're good friends and high school teammates, and I thought that they're here because of him, Tanner Hall.
Questions for coach and student athletes?
I think you had you were hot at the beginning of the year and you kind of cooled off. Well, having a game like that in a first inning like that, what was that like?
It was nice. Coach talked to us before the game and all week about trying to come out and just be yourself, not try to do too much, and if we be ourselves, then everything will work out in the way we wanted it to.
Well, Aaron, obviously, you talked about this moment, this game, this day for a year. How much, was going through your mind that first at bat, and you hit a homer, and just how much juice went into that, this past year?
Yeah, no, this is the goal we set for ourselves at the end of last year. I think everybody in this room was sitting here, and everybody was kind of sad about a year ago. So it's what all the work's been for. Getting that hit in the first inning felt really good. We had 2 really good ABs right ahead of me, so I was just trying to string that together. It's the collective whole that's going to take us as far as we can. So it feels really good to be here, and especially to put that many runs up in the first.
Coach, how important was it to come out like that in a postseason game, put up 8 runs in the first inning?
Well, again, there's always emotion when you're playing in a regional, and to put up 8 runs right there, and it just allows your pitcher to settle in. It allows Tony to be more aggressive, because then you can make mistakes. When you have a little bit of a cushion, you can make some mistakes, and he really didn't make any, but allows him to be more aggressive, and that's what we need out of Tony. We need him to be aggressive all the time, but just allows that pitcher to settle in.
Tucker,
we have 9 home runs in the game before, and it's hot, and the wind's blowing out. How worried is a coach about what that kind of effect it can have on the game?
Well, I like our lineup. I like our hitters, and I like Tony Losi on the mound. He's a hard guy to elevate a pitch. It's 96 miles an hour, and he elevates in the zone. It's hard to barrel him up. So, the wind blowing out, I think, helped us today. Was to our advantage. Tomorrow, it's going to be Florida State can hit a lot of balls a long way, and they've got a very good pitcher in Van Eck going, and we've got a pretty good guy in Emerson Hancock going too. So it should be a really good pitching matchup. I think the winds are supposed to be a little bit lighter tomorrow, but the ball's jumping. There's no question about it. And when it heats up and the wind blows a little bit, the ball is going to jump. And solo home runs won't beat you, but the 2- and 3-run home runs are going to beat you. And that's what we always preach to our pitchers when the wind's blowing out. Make sure you don't give any free passes. And that's what you saw later in the game. We walked a couple guys and they hit a 3-run home run. That's how in a close game you're going to get beat.
Tucker's kind of follow up on the same question the coach was just asking. I think 9 home runs in an FSU game earlier today. Y'all kind of, because they have an idea this could possibly be that same type of contest?
Well, early on at VP, everybody noticed, between our VP and their VP, that the ball was flying well. So it's just a matter of fact of not going out there and trying to hit the home run. It's just trying to put the good swing on the ball.
Aaron, your second one, I think it was it looked like he might have had it picked and it bounced on the wall. I mean, you really gave an emotional pump on that one. What was your view of that pitch, that hit, and seeing it finally drop over the wall after it bounced on the top? I think.
Yeah, no, it felt good off the bat, and I thought it had a chance, especially with the way the ball was flying today. And when I saw him jump up, it kind of looked like it went in his glove, and kind of saw a replay of it, and it looked like it was probably in his glove for a little bit, rolled on top of the fence and made it over. So home run's a home run, so it was just a celebration. It was fun coming around the bases on that one.
Coach Losey threw just 73 pitches today. Is that an indication he could possibly come back later on in this thing if needed?
Yeah, possibly. According to Tony, he can pitch tomorrow. So Tony's always available. But yeah, that was the thinking once we got through 5. Let's get him out and kind of start. Tomorrow would normally be a pretty heavy lift day for him, so he won't lift as much tomorrow. And just keep him available. You never know in these tournaments. And we put ourselves in a pretty good spot. Going back to last year, we had to go to the bullpen pretty early in our first 2 games in the regional. So now getting to game 2 with a very fresh bullpen and a starter that went on Friday, 70-some pitches, and could come back later if we needed him. But yeah, that was the thinking, and also to get Logan out there and to get Darren out there. And but yeah, that was what we were thinking.
Any thoughts yet? He's going to be your third pitcher, start.
Not yet. No, we'll throw Emerson tomorrow, and we'll do everything we can to win tomorrow. And if we can find a way to beat Florida State, then we'll figure that out. But we're going to do everything we can to win tomorrow.
A question for Tucker and Aaron. First off, I'll start with Aaron. So, what do you think has led to your offense just kind of surging here lately, but being consistent along with that? I mean, it just feels like you're making an impact on every game offensively.
It's just postseason baseball has been it's a pretty serious grind on everybody, and it's what everybody plays for. So everybody's dialed in, everybody's locked in. I think that's why our offense, our defense, and our pitching has been as good as it has been for the entire year, because we saw what the components were that could take you there last year, and kind of where we fell short. So just being dialed in at the end of the season, knowing it's an important part, and to keep going and building off of that. So just trying to string consistent ABs together as an individual, and then down the lineup is going to wear people down.
And then Tucker, what can you say about Aaron's offensive performances and how he's been able to come through a couple of hits?
I mean, all year he's been the same guy every day in and day out. He's been one of the most consistent hitters in our lineup, and every time he comes up to the plate, something special might happen.
So what was going through your mind in the second at bat in the first inning on the grand slam? I mean, you had a chance to kind of bury him earlier. So what was your mindset going through that at bat?
I was just looking for a pitch out over the plate that I could drive up the middle. I was sticking to the approach that coaches try to stick with us all week, but not try to do too much and just come up there and be yourself and let the ball get deep and hit it the other way.
Tucker, a 2-parter. The center fielder was close on that home run catching it. Did you think that he might have caught it? And 2, were you really trying to get a triple there to go for the cycle there at the end of the game?
Well, when he jumped up and he came down, I hesitated for a second. I took a second glance. I didn't know if he caught it or not, and then I looked at the third base umpire, and he was circling the bases. And I mean, I wasn't trying to go for the cycle or the triple, but if it would have happened, I wouldn't have complained.
So it was in the mind there. Yeah.
Coach, and also on Aaron, I mean, as you watch him play, especially offensively, is there anybody who he reminds you of who you watched, and also what is a quality that makes him unique?
That's a good one. A guy that he reminds me a little bit of, and going back, I don't know if he's still playing in the big leagues or not, Zimmerman, the guy that played for the Nationals for a long time, played at Virginia. When I coached at that other school, he was the third baseman for Virginia, and I compared Aaron with a couple scouts to him, because when he was in college, he didn't hit for power, and very few home runs, if any. Virginia's a big park, but he didn't hit for a lot of power. It was developing, and he got better as he went, and obviously he's hit a lot of home runs in the big leagues, and that's what I kind of compared Aaron, is that the power is starting to come now. We're benefiting from now. He's got 13 home runs, but the power was coming, and really good defensively, really good athletically. So that's the guy that I compare him to is Zimmerman, who played for the Nationals.
Two more questions.
How do you like having 11 home runs in your leadoff spot? And is that it appears at this point you guys aren't going to mess with anything in terms of lineup and what y'all are doing.
Yeah, Tucker, we get on him every day. It's kind of funny, as he's hitting the grand slam right before, get on top of the baseball. Try to hit it on the ground, and it's again, you're trying to trick your mind. Tucker's got a little bit of loft in his swing, and we all know that he can hit it a long way, but when he thinks get on top of it, he kind of tricks himself into hitting some line drive. So I'm telling him to hit balls on the ground, and the SEC tournament, I'm literally hit the ball on the ground, and we're just trying to trick the mind to try to get a little bit more on top so he doesn't get underneath it. But he's got a lot of power, and he's really athletic, and when he hits it out of the park, I will not tell him to hit on the ground. But as a leadoff guy, he can be really dangerous because he can run, he can bunt, he can do a lot of different things. He's a really talented kid.
Coach, speaking of comparisons, as far as Van Eck goes, does he remind you of anybody you have faced against this year in the SEC, perhaps?
Yeah, well, I mean, he would fit right in our league. I mean, he's an SEC arms up to 97. He's going to pitch 93, 94, but he's touched some sevens. Breaking ball's pretty good. When he gets in trouble, he's going to throw that slider. We'll watch some more film of him tomorrow. You know, again, when you're trying to prepare, you know, Florida Atlantic and Florida State and Mercer, you're preparing for everybody, but we'll go back and we'll watch some more film of Van Eck. But he fit right in this league. There's no question about it. It reminds me maybe a little bit of the Plumlee kid for Mississippi State. He pitched 3-hole for him, maybe a little bit more velo, but very similar to him.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay.